Hello and welcome again to another edition of John Franklin Presents. My name is Greg Simons. Today we'll be talking about the peace dollar. That's the United States silver dollar that was minted between 1921 and 1935. The genesis for the coin came from Mr. Frank Duffield, who was the editor of the Numismatist magazine. He wrote a paper for the 1918 Philadelphia ANA Convention in which he called for the creation of a U.S. general circulation coin to commemorate the inevitable victory of the United States in the Great World War that was raging at that time. It's interesting to note that the 1918 Philadelphia ANA Convention did not take place that summer. That's due to a terrible influenza outbreak that was going on around the world. In fact, over 100,000 people died in the United States alone during that summer of 1918. This new peace dollar was designed by Anthony DeFrancisci after a national competition was held in 1921. The Federal Commission on Fine Arts was responsible for determining the winner of the competition and ultimately chose DeFrancisci's obverse. However, the reverse that he suggested was rejected. It featured an eagle either standing on or holding in its claws, depending on your point of view, a broken sword, which many felt seemed like defeat. As a result of that rejection, George T. Morgan designed the reverse that we see today. And of course, George T. Morgan was the designer of the famous Morgan dollar. As with any new coin issue, this coin met with a great deal of public criticism. People didn't seem to know what those rays coming out of Liberty's head were all about. They thought her mouth was gaping wide open and that perhaps she was frightened. But nonetheless, this Liberty that we see on the peace dollar is really a direct descendant of Augustus St. Gaudens's designs that we've seen on gold coins, which are perhaps the most beautiful ever produced in the United States of America. Public criticism of the coin got so bad that in 1922, the director of the Mint issued a statement stating unequivocally that the coin would not be removed from circulation. And in 1924, the Treasury Department enclosed peace dollars in pay envelopes to 5,000 employees of that department and suggested that other American government departments do the same. The production of the peace dollar peaked in 1923 when about 80 million of those coins were minted. Throughout the entire 14-year run of this particular coin, 250 million peace dollars were minted. Now, the reason for the coin being minted at all, of course, was not only to commemorate the war and the victory of the United States in World War I. That was really secondary. The primary reason for the mintage of the coin to begin with was to replace the 270 million silver dollars that the government had melted. The designer of the peace dollar was Anthony DeFrancisci. He was an Italian immigrant, came to the United States in 1903, and was naturalized a citizen 10 years later in 1913. He had, in 1920, designed the Maine Centennial half-dollar coin, which was quite popular. He's also known as a sculptor, and you can see his works in the New York Grand Central Station if you look closely enough. He also has many works housed and exhibited around the United States. DeFrancisci is also responsible for the design of many United States military medals. He designed the Badge of Service, and any veteran with an honorable discharge can wear the Badge of Service, so it is well documented and well known throughout the service. The 1921 P peace dollar was really the only issue of the coin that was struck as the sculptor had intended, with a full, deep relief. In 1922, that was changed because it was thought to be unacceptable for a standard circulation coin. The relief was flattened and other changes were made by George T. Morgan to make it more of a regular commercial strike. In fact, after having done that, the wide open field of the coin unfortunately allowed every single bag mark and nick to be picked up, and so as a result, really pristine coins are harder and harder to come by. The 1921 and 1922 peace dollar were the only issues that had any proofs minted. In fact, there are probably fewer than 30 proof peace dollars ever created. None of the other years had a proof issue, and so you'll only find proofs in 1921 and 1922 dates. In 1964, legislation was passed that authorized the mintage of 45 million peace dollars to be made into silver coins. And pursuant to that legislation, over 300,000 coins were minted at the Denver Mint, dated 1964. They were minted in 1965. However, all of those coins have been melted, and there is no record of any of those ever leaving the mint. I hope you've enjoyed this little story about the peace dollar, the 1921 through 1935 U.S. silver dollar variety. And if you want more information about this coin and just about any other coin, log on to johnfranklin.com. johnfranklin.com has information about coins, currency, and all sorts of other numismatic items that you might find helpful. Again, we appreciate your watching. We'll see you next time.